Welcome to my take on the fourth, and I imagine final trailer for The Dark Knight Rises. Let's do it. Here we see Bane getting himself jacked up by punching a hole in a concrete column. So I guess we can say he's at least as strong as Batman, and probably stronger. We see Bane's got a detonator in his hand, but it looks like he's setting off fireworks. After the fireworks stop, we see a lot of these clouds of smoke. In the super secret MTV sneak peek footage, there was a scene with Bane and these puffs of smoke around him, so maybe these fireworks are where those puffs of smoke came from.
So you know about him? Of course.
Batman riding the Batpod, and there's this red dot. It looks like it's from a weapon he's carrying, as opposed to maybe a laser sight pointed at him. Here's another shot showing that red dot. It appears that Batman is in pursuit of this guy on the motorcycle, carrying what looks like a hostage on his back. And this guy's got a tie and suspenders, so I'm guessing he's one of the maybe Gotham power elite that Bane is targeting. This looks like a continuation of the previous scene. Batman gets off the Batpod and he aims this device at something in front of him. We've seen this in the previous trailers. I'm assuming this is something to stop the person that's riding the motorcycle without hurting the hostage. Batman has been away for so long that John Blake is a little bit surprised that the kid knows about him. Some scenes from the prologue, Bane kidnapping Dr. Pavel.
What are you? I'm Gotham's reckoning.
Shot of the bridges being destroyed. Here we have the exterior of a fancy apartment building or a hotel. There's a huge mob heading up the street. There are a few of Bane's henchmen with them, but it looks like it's mostly citizens. And there's a doorman here, the guy with the sort of yellow thing on his sleeve. We'll see him again in a second. The mob proceeds to trash that building, as well as its residents. Here's that doorman we saw a moment ago. He's looking up and trying to shield himself from the debris that's heading down, and also the people that are heading down on top of him. We see a shot of a haggard-looking Bruce Wayne. He's telling somebody that he's not afraid, he's angry, and he's got a look of determination in his eyes. So this is probably after his first fight with Bane, and he is on his way to build himself back up, or I guess to rise.
Afraid.
Here's a shot of Alfred. Not really sure where he is, although those structures, those arches, look very similar to a shot we saw in the MTV sneak peek footage, but it wasn't really clear if those arches were leading into the Batcave or if they were leading into Bane's lair.
I'm angry.
Here we see Batman at the end of a catwalk. He's looking at somebody on the other side of this gate. Based on other media releases, I'm almost certain that it's Selina on the other side, and she has led Batman into this trap. Batman pauses, turns slowly, and he sees Bane behind him. In the comics, Bane confronts Batman in Wayne Manor. I'm not really sure where they are in this shot, though. It looks like some type of factory or industrial building, but I guess it could also be a rebuilt Batcave. Here's Bane striding towards Batman, and he actually calls him Mr. Wayne. I don't think that comes as a big surprise that he knows who Batman is. I mean, we see a shot in a few seconds where he's walking away holding the mask. In the comics, when Bane arrives in Gotham, he has suspicions that Bruce Wayne is Batman, but he's not certain. So maybe it will play out in a similar fashion in the movie. Here we see Batman throw a punch, and Bane catches it with ease. Then he turns and gives Batman this look like, really? Is that all you've got? It's not looking good for Batman right here, folks. Here we see a little bit more of the same fight. Bane has the high ground. For whatever reason, Batman is drenched. Then we see Bane deliver a kick and knock Batman back. Bane just tossing aside a piece of the mask. Here we see two camo tumblers escorting this big truck. I have no idea what's in it. Here's another shot with a bunch of Bane's followers. I see mercenaries mixed in with a bunch of Gotham's citizens. Here Bane is entering the Gotham Stock Exchange. You can see a little part of the big board above him. I'm not sure what's up with his jacket. We haven't seen him wearing this in any of the previous shots. Here we see a little bit more of the entrance. There's a chair behind him to the left. We're going to see that chair in a second. Above him to the right, you can see the reflection with the letters GSE for Gotham Stock Exchange. Here's a wide shot of the stock exchange, and there's that chair we were just looking at. I don't see Bane, so maybe his henchmen go in first and they terrorize the people. Then he makes a dramatic entrance. A lot of the people are scrambling and ducking for cover, but not this guy. His body is very still. Maybe the terrorists made an example out of him. There's some sort of mark on his shirt. I'm not sure if it's blood or maybe just the necktie. John Blake driving his squad car. Then we see him suddenly dive to his right as if he's ducking for cover. And in the next shot we see a squad car getting flipped over. I can't really tell why, but the way he ducked down, he must have seen something coming, maybe a missile or a landmine. Something caused him to flip over. Behind him there are other cars, including taxis, driving down the street. I can't imagine if Gotham is sort of in a state of emergency that there are cabs driving around picking people up and taking them around town, so maybe things are so bad that the police are just using whatever cars they can find. You see a bunch of cops, including John Blake, looking up, presumably at the Bat. The cop on the left was in the MTV sneak peek footage. He was riding around in a car with a rookie cop in a scene that was a little bit of a nod to the Dark Knight Returns comic book. An aerial shot, and on top of the roof here, there's a huge tarp covering something up. My initial thought is the Batwing is under there, but I thought in one of the TV ads there was a shot of it going in or out of the Batcave. So, like many other things, I'll just have to wait and see.
Remember where you parked?
I'm sticking with the theory that this is Catwoman looking down on Bruce after Bane beats him down. And I think that scene is so traumatizing that it really causes her to stop and think about which side she's really fighting for. Here's a shot of Commissioner Gordon getting thrown off a ledge. Once again we have water running in the background. We know from the first trailer that Gordon ends up in a hospital bed, so maybe this is what put him there. Here's Selina smiling at somebody just prior to making a very flashy exit. I see she's wearing the pearls too. Back at the stock exchange, Bane is incapacitating this guy, and it looks like he only needs to use one hand to do it. The other guy is armed. He looks like some sort of plainclothes security guard. Here's a shot of Selina on the Batpod, pursuing those two camo tumblers who are escorting that truck. I'm having second thoughts about this shot. At first I thought it was Batman, but now I think it's a statue. I don't really know how Batman would actually make his way up there, and if he was up there, how he would make his way down. It doesn't really seem practical. So I think the cape is sort of like a flag, and this is in tribute or maybe in memory of Batman, and he's sort of like a gargoyle looking down on the city. Here we have a string of explosives rocking a number of buildings on this street. Here we see a few officers, including Detective John Blake and Deputy Commissioner Foley. They're in one of the spots where a bomb is going off. It looks like a rundown apartment building. I think this scene takes place after the masquerade ball. We see Bruce Wayne walking with a cane.
I take it your wife said you were taking a cab home.
My wife? And then we see Selina driving off with this car. At the party, Selina had a white necklace on, but we don't see it here. I wonder why that is.
Don't worry, Master Wayne. Takes a little time.
Here's another lighter moment. Alfred picks Bruce up in the Bentley. He tells Bruce it can take a while to get back in the swing of things, which is true on multiple levels.
Time to get back in the swing of things.
Yes, coming soon, the subtitle should say, but not soon enough. We're less than a month away. I've got my ticket. Maybe I'll see a few of you at midnight on July 20th. Thanks for listening.